Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone. This is the help desk for the Sarasota Technology User Group. We do this for half an hour before our presentation meeting. Drew is going to uh, facilitate this, but I'm going to be helping because Jim Cerny's out of the country. We kicked him out, but he'll be back. He'll be back soon. Anyway, hi, Drew. All right, I'll turn it over to you, Drew, and then I'll get my mouth in there when I can. I'm not hearing you.
He's
You're not
cutting
muted.
Wi-Fi.
Microphone went off. I might have a low battery on my mic, but
Okay.
I have a secondary mic if this mic goes out.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, if anybody wants to raise their hand with any kind of a question, we don't take appliance questions, but we do take computer.
Yeah, you're cutting out again, Drew. I'll let you switch microphones. Anyone have a question? I'll take it for a minute. Jolin, go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a computer club member and a friend who they have an HP one of the smart tanks, and all of a sudden it's not printing from the computer, and I'm really interested. It's an HP. What other printers are we recommending these days? Is the Canon still good? Is it, because I don't know what to do with this, and I've talked to things like it won't print from LibreOffice. There's an issue between LibreOffice and the drivers for the HP. She's not going to give up LibreOffice, so I need to find an alternative, and just curious what people are looking at these days.
Bob
Um,
G, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I've been using Epson, Epson forever, and
That's
I
what I'm
don't have any
thinking.
problems with interfaces. They
Yeah.
constantly update their drivers. HP's known not to update drivers because they'd like you to buy a new computer. I mean,
Exactly.
a new printer.
Which is
yes.
what we're going to do, but not an HP.
Mm.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I have a consulting business with a lot of customers, and the one that uh, the EcoTank from Epson is a very good printer.
Excellent.
That's the one I
I've
have
been
had
u-
for many years.
I've been using a Brother printer for gosh, probably 12 years now. It works great. I love it. Uh, but one of my neighbors gave me a Brother uh, inkjet, or not inkjet, but a
Laser.
laser printer. And I figured out why they gave it away because it was about a $450 printer. Uh, I couldn't make it work on my USB. I finally got it to work, and then the power it got unplugged. And when I got it back, I couldn't make it work again. And I ended up getting a long wire, and I ran a wire direct from the computer, and it would work then. And so just sometimes these things just don't work. It's about a 3-year-old printer, and the USB doesn't work. I really like printers that have a window on it, and you can do the setup from
Yes.
within it. Most of the printers that don't have that, you've got to run software, and it's got to find the printer
Yep.
before you can set it up. And that's where the problem is.
The
And then
stra-
I go ahead,
I
Jolin.
was just gonna say the strange thing was I could get the HP software to work, but I couldn't get it to print from anything else in Windows. So we're getting rid of that one. And I think we will probably go. I'll look at the Brother, but we'll probably go with the Epson. Something simple.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
one of my neighbors had one of those T-Mobile boxes that you over the air for the internet. They run about $50 a month, I think it is, and you get internet, and it's just a box. And she couldn't get her printer to work on the network, and it was an HP. And I finally had a long talk with Spectrum, which was or no, T-Mobile. I'm sorry, with T-Mobile about it, and they said, "What model is it? What model of the T-Mobile box do you have?" And she had the white one, and apparently it's a white one and a different color one. And she said, yes, a lot of the HP printers will not work with it without you running special software.
Wow.
And and so I think she ended up getting a new printer. because she needed that T-Mobile connection.
Yeah. What I
Jake-
did as a solution was I got a $100 Brother black and white laser. And then if I need to print in color, my next door neighbor allows me to print on his Epson.
In fact,
do you do it through his network or do
in
you
fact,
go
he
over to
talked.
his house?
I actually can get on his Wi-Fi from my house
Yeah.
and set.
I've had an HP for years. Haven't had an inkling of a problem.
Yeah, JB has his hand up.
Me too. I mean, although I don't do inkjet anymore. I do strictly laser. It's just I don't print enough to have inkjet because inkjet ink dries out.
Yeah,
Or
you
Not
only
gets
if
get so
stuck to
much
it.
not if
time.
you have ink, not the cartridges, but you have compartments with the ink in it.
Oh, yes, mine does. If you don't use it at least once a week, I'm right now I'm trying to clean the heads again because I left it for 3 weeks without using it.
Murray, the secret is not to turn off your printer. If
I
it's
don't.
on, it refreshes itself. If you
Oh, I
turn it
don't.
off, then
I
you'll
don't-
have a problem.
I do not turn it off, but it does go into a sleep mode.
Yeah. JB's got his hand up. Go ahead.
Um, I I just installed a Brother laser printer about an hour and a half ago for a neighbor down the street, and the entire process was handled online. I plugged the printer in, just set it there, and clicked on the Brother support link that they gave, and it went through the entire thing of installing the software, connecting to the network, and the whole thing without doing anything. I didn't have to give it the password for the Wi-Fi or anything, and everything was all up and running within about an hour.
Hmm.
So it was quite simple. As a
If
duplex,
it was purely Wi-Fi, how did it get the Wi-Fi password?
I don't
Uh,
know. I don't
What
know
it
how
does,
it did it, but
what
it
it
did
does
it.
is it connects to your computer, and the computer gives it the password.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I see that how that
Yeah.
would work. Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole thing, in fact, I even asked the lady whose house it was, I said, well, I need the printer the Wi-Fi password. She gave it to me and I never had to use it.
Hmm.
So it was all connected and I didn't have to download any software. It did all the software downloads and installs and the whole thing, and it was $179 laser black and white. Prints duplex and black and white. That's it.
Kate, you have your hand up.
Speaking of magic, I just bought a new car and I put my music on a thumb drive and it plays just fine in the car, but I don't know what software the car is using. Does it matter?
Is
Uh,
it
hmm.
you hear the music, right? And it works. I wouldn't
Probably
worry
not.
about it.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
magic. Okay.
Yeah, I have one too. I plug into the USB drive, and then I can skip songs on with a button.
But it's not
I-
using something that I have to pay for, right? It's not using
No,
iTunes or
no,
something.
it's just in the car.
Magic. Okay,
But
thank you.
but if you have a brand new car, it should have either CarPlay or Android Auto.
It has CarPlay, but my previous car had CarPlay too for 6 years. That's not a subscription-based thing, is it?
No, but if you
CarPlay.
use CarPlay with your new phone, then it should put your music up on the dashboard.
Yeah, it does. And I'm using a USB because I got lots of songs. So, and I'm tickled that I learned how to use that.
Because you plugged it in and it worked.
Oh, Huey, come on.
Okay,
Next
Drew,
question.
yeah.
Does anybody have a question? Nobody, huh?
Well,
Oops, admit Barbara. Maybe Barbara has a question.
I got it. I got her in.
One of the things that I was going to talk about is a couple of different shareware or freeware programs that I use. One of them, I know a lot of people like to use CCleaner, but I've also heard a lot of people complaining about CCleaner because it tries to advertise upgrades and install third-party products. I came across another program called BleachBit, BLEACH, like in the bleach you put in your clothes, and bit, BIT, and it's open source and multi-platform, and it cleans primarily your browser and some system files. And it gives you the opportunity to select what browser you want to clean, what parts of the browser, whether you want to get rid of the cache or you want to get rid of the cookies. And then what's nice about it is it has a preview button and comes through and tells you exactly what it's going to do before you go ahead and do it. And I find that to be a very good program that people might want to have and check out.
Wasn't that the software that got involved in politics back about 8 years ago that somebody wiped their computer and they used the BleachBit software?
Yep, that was it.
It has
We don't get political here, but the fact that they used that, so apparently it is very good.
Yeah. Well, it has a file eraser portion. So like if you want to erase all of the space on your disk that is free, or if you want to erase files permanently, it has those features. But like I said, you don't want to typically, if it says Google Chrome, you can select the top button and clean all of Chrome, and it'll go back to like Chrome being new. It'll erase your bookmarks, it'll erase your cookies, it'll erase everything. So you have to be careful when you look at it.
My
Does it
my
try
comment.
to update drivers?
Does it what?
Does it try to update drivers like CCleaner does?
No, it doesn't do any upgrading or it just does cleaning. It can do what I can do actually is I'll very quickly, if I
Because that
can.
driver updating in CCleaner is extremely dangerous. It can make a real mess of your whole system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to warn people, if you're not comfortable and you don't know what you're doing sometimes and you just kind of hope it works, this is not software you want to use.
No, now you tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll
Literally
do,
the last 2 weeks I've spent repairing all the damage that CCleaner has done.
Yeah,
Yep.
me too. Well,
So
I still haven't repaired one program. One program I can't run it from the system tray. What happens was that they did something to the registry that makes this program think that it makes the operating system think that it's needs to be repaired or reinstalled or something. And it's an old program, so I don't have the installer anymore. And you can't download it from the internet or anything. So I have a workaround that works. As it's booting, I have to boot it straight from the application executable in the applications folder. And when it twice during the upload process, it'll come up and say it's starting to install and look for the installer, and I have to cancel and then watch and wait for the next one to come up, cancel again, and then it runs okay. But
Yeah.
that was CCleaner did that job on me.
Yeah,
So-
and as I mentioned, if you don't know what you're doing, or even the most experienced of those of us that are on this call have problems with these things when we start to use them. So if you're not an expert at these things, good thing not to try them.
Actually, what you can do, the
and
best way to use them is just as a reference. So when it scans drivers or other programs and stuff that need updating, then go to the actual sites and get them and find out if there is one for your specific hardware. Because if there
Right.
is, chances are it's just pulled off a generic one from somewhere else, a third party thing that can screw up your whole system.
And Norbert?
Yeah, I put a link in the chat of a video for CCleaner free to set up a scheduled and how to safely set up a scheduled scan. It's a video I put together some years back already. But the
Okay.
secret to C-scan is knowing what to use and what to bypass.
Right. And
Right.
if it's got a button that you can press and it can cause a lot of damage to your computer and you're not an expert, I don't recommend you use it.
Right. That's why there are
Yeah.
tutorials that tell you
Yeah.
what to set up and what to leave the heck alone.
And
Right.
if you ask AI, it'll tell you, don't do it, don't use it, period.
And could everybody see my BleachBit screen?
Yes.
I have checked off here Adobe Acrobat Reader, and I told it to clean everything. And what I do is I hit the preview button, and it goes through and tells me what it's going to get rid of. And it's going to free up 45 megabytes of disk space. So I'm going to go ahead and say clean, and it's going to ask me to confirm it, and I do that. And now it goes and gets rid of all of that stuff, and I've recovered 45 megabytes of space.
Which is
I
nothing.
right,
Yeah.
right. That's nothing. That's just Adobe Reader. But if I go into a browser like Brave, I can say I want to clean the cache. Cookies, it will clean out all your cookies, not only the cookies from some of the browsers have the ability to get rid of cookies from the last hour or the last 24 hours.
Or forever.
Well, correct.
And so you can choose history, password, search engine, session, site data. Under deep scan, I can say I want to look for only backup files, but I'm going to find one that, here's Google Chrome. I don't know why it says I have Internet Explorer, but it does. But I'm going to just, for example, say I want to get rid of my Microsoft Edge cache. I'm going to get rid of my cookies, my crash reports. I don't want any passwords in there. And then I'll hit preview, and it'll tell me, what it's going to get rid of. And it's going to get rid of a lot. And all of this stuff is cache. All of it says data, default cache, 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 cache. So I'm just going to say that I want it to clean. It's going to say, you want to do it? I'm going to delete it. And then it goes through and gets rid of all the cache files. So, like I said, Huey said, if you're a very beginner, you might not want to use this program. If you're a mid-level computer user and you feel comfortable choosing the right components to get rid of, this can be a good tool to help you out.
Drew, for those people who may not understand the word cache, and that's CACHE, can you explain what that is for them?
Sure. When you go into a browser and you go into a website, it may download things into a temporary area that it calls the cache. And then if you were to leave that website and then come back to the website, it might pull some of the information out of the cache to make your web page appear more quickly. So this one, for Edge, I recovered 420 megabytes of space. So that wasn't too bad. And if I go down to my system, I can get rid of log files and memory dumps and the recycling bin and temporary files, updates to uninstallers. And if I say preview this, it's going to come back and it's going to give me a lot of data that it's going to get rid of. And you can see it's going through temporary files, and in a couple of seconds, it'll tell us the total amount that it's going to get rid of, but it's getting rid of a lot. because we're getting rid of a lot of information that are in log files and memory dumps. It says here on the left-hand side, if you can see it clearly enough, there's 8.9 gigabytes of memory dump.
Wow.
4.6 gigabits are in my recycling bin, 4 gigabytes of temporary files. So it wants to recover 17.66 gigabytes. And I can just hit, I already did that. So I'll abort and do a clean.
Yeah, there's
Or
one.
I'll wait and clean this later. But anyway, this is one of the programs that I wanted to show you, that you can recover a lot of disk space. You know, recovering 35 gigabytes in one little pop is a good way to go.
Now, now, Drew, all of that, those temporary files and the cache, that 45 gigabytes that you just mentioned, that was a 45, whatever it was. Uh, what happens if you don't run a program like this? What does that eventually go away, or is it just keep building bigger, it keep building up, or what?
Well, I can't really answer that question. Those are Windows files, and I don't know what Windows does with them. Obviously, it accumulated 45 gigabytes of crap on my system. Um, I run that every now and then and
Yeah,
get
there's
rid
one
of.
problem with caching is that what you see when it gets it out of the cache isn't current to what's on the website. So if something has changed on the website and it hasn't refreshed the cache, you won't see it unless you
Exactly.
hold Control and F5. That forces it to rebuild the cache again for what's current on the website. Control
Right.
F5, good one to remember.
And if no one, does Norbert, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I don't use any of these third-party cleaners because everything can be done directly within, in this case, Windows. It has its own cleanup tools, and it's a lot safer than third parties. And your browsers, they all have the ability to clean up the garbage that they accumulate.
Um, and then one thing in Windows that I wanted to show everybody is, some people, if they have a program that's misbehaving and you want to run, or typically run Task Manager to kill the task, there is an option in Windows settings that if I right click on this PDF program, you'll see that the option to close all windows, which is on all of your computers, but I also have an end task feature in here as well. If I hover over any of these programs and right click, I have an end task button. And if I say end task, it's going to just kill it right then and there without having to go into Task Manager. And the way that you get there is in your user settings. Let me get rid of this window so it's covering my meeting controls. You go into System and Advanced, and then at the very top here, it says End Task. And you just turn that on, like I have it on here, and then you'll have that feature available to you on your computer. Let's see if there's anything else I can fill out the extra 5 minutes with.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine and the end task comes up. So, and I don't think I turned it on. So it may do that by default. So if you right mouse click on something that's open, uh, it may say end task at the bottom, on your taskbar.
Well, if I turn this off, let me go and turn it off. And then if I right click on Firefox, I no longer have that end task
Yeah.
option. And if I turn it back on again and I right click, there's my end task again.
Yeah. Yep. And that means if you've got your browser open and you got 8 or 10 tabs, it shuts everything down. Or if you've got 8 or 10 tabs on your your notepad, it'll shut everything down. It may ask you on the way down, do you want to save this or do you want to cancel? But uh, you can use it and it'll end all the tasks. So
On
sometimes
mine,
when
it
you're
doesn't
stuck, that's a
say
good way to do it.
On mine, it doesn't say end task, it just says close when I right click on
Right,
it.
because you have to optionally turn on that feature, and that's in Windows settings. You go into System and then Advanced, and it's
You
the
got
very
some, you got, we're seeing a black box right over
oh,
what you're
those
talking about. Yeah.
those are the floating meeting controls.
Yeah.
System and then Advanced, and then End Task is the very first option on the top. Do we have
But
any
that
further
doesn't
questions?
close all the tasks. That only closes the task that you select.
Correct. It only gets rid of the tasks that you highlight.
Right. When you do a right click, that's the option to end its task, but only that particular task, not all
Yes,
of them.
correct.
So what's the difference between that end task and close?
Closing is a way to close the program normally. So
Okay,
end task is the way that you would do it if it was misbehaving and a close
got
didn't work right.
It's
Okay.
probably the equivalent of the Apple force quit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as going into the task manager, searching for the program that's misbehaving and trying to kill it.
Yeah.
What I do, when I go into the task manager, if I've got one that's misbehaving, I don't just kill it. I click on, um, well, close. What is it? Close the complete chain or something like that.
Mm.
It's more than just closing the program. It's closing all the things that it has spawned and are running in the background somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
And
Okay,
right
Drew.
now,
Drew, why don't you go ahead and close your window up?
okay.
There we go. All right. So we've been spending some time. One last question. I think we can sneak in, Brenda.
Okay, the BleachBit, is that a multi-platform or is it just a Windows app? Or
I know for a fact that I run it on Linux and Windows. I don't know if it's Mac or not.
okay, great.
Okay. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, everybody, for your comments and questions. This has been our help desk. We do this for half an hour before our presentation and before our announcements. So with that, we'll do this again next month. And thanks for joining. And we do record this and do post it on our YouTube channel.